Alright everybody, I'm going to be your narrator for the remainder of this video, and there is drone footage coming up. This is Rifle Club Road coming from the river and the Rifle Club. To the right is another neighborhood which was largely spared, at least a good part of it. To the left, this was completely wiped out. And what's surprising is just that there's just ash. There's literally nothing left. If you notice some of these wooden frames and those blue bins, like right there, somebody, I don't know if it was the city or maybe a church group or volunteers, they made screens and dropped them off on the driveway with of all these houses with the blue bins so that people could sift through their the ash and find their belongings. That's going towards where I live. When I see this, I just think of complete annihilation, like a nuclear bomb went off. Now, most of these homes, I think these were built in the late 70s, maybe early 80s, and they're upper middle class. I would say $600,000 up to about $800,000 in value of these homes. It was a really nice neighborhood. We would drive through this all the time, going to the shooting range, or at least along Rifle Club Road. Now, this particular drive was just after the restrictions were lifted. So there's a lot of looky-loos coming through here. You can see the remnants of a classic Chevy there. It's a real shame. He had a lift in his garage. There's a lot of toolboxes. A lot of toolboxes with tools in them that got destroyed. And consequently, we've had a problem with thieves coming into this neighborhood, and as well as the neighborhood over on 9 Mile, which I have not covered, and I'm not going to. I mean, it's just more of this. But this exists over on 9 Mile, and you'll see that direction in the drone footage. It's kind of hard to actually see, but there have been thieves coming here, sifting through the ruins here. There have been some arrests made. It's really like, what the heck? What's wrong with our society? I don't think that house is for sale anymore. A lot of people are saying, "Whoa, why is the grass green?" I mean, who knows? They might have had their sprinklers on. One of the houses at the beginning of this that I filmed, where the houses are still smoking, they had burned down the night before. And I think the middle one, if you look, the sprinklers are on and still going. Now you can see the grass is burned up here. Fire is just very intermittent. There's some more of the screens and bins. The area smells as well. So here I'm kind of pointing out that this house had a metal roof. Now, a lot of homes will have these because of the snow, and it's a good way to prevent ice dams, and these roofs will last about 20 years. But they still are not enough to protect you from a fire, and that's kind of why I got out to take this footage here. The house literally just burned down underneath the roof. Another thing that surprises me is the amount of cars that people left behind. Stairs to nowhere. And while we're on the subject, something that is really angering me is these people that are online that are going on about, well, they want to build data centers, and so that's why this fire happened. Or they want to build a smart city. You know, what the heck is wrong with you? I'm so tired of people doing that. And you can't convince them otherwise. You know, they catch the arsonist and all of a sudden he's a fall guy, he didn't do it. What a slap in the face to the people that own these homes. If you look at the surrounding geography here, this is not data center country. It's not even smart city country. It's rough terrain. It's hilly. The amount of area that you need to build a data center far exceeds anything in this general area. Now, if you go southwest of Spokane, there's open rolling plains, and there's plenty of room to build data centers, a lot of empty land. They don't need to burn anything down to build a data center. And I'm so tired of people's conspiracy stuff. And then you've got other people saying they were hearing booms, and you know, the fire was, there was no fire, and then a boom, and then there's fire. I need to pause here. This is Rifle Club Road, and this was taken this last Saturday. And at this point, people are coming in. There's a lot of hazmat going on, and insurance companies and people sifting through stuff. This is the shooting range. And I'm going to point to where the office used to be here in a second. You can see the flag is still flying back there. This has all been destroyed. This was a nice little shooting range here. So that's where the office was, the main office. Just ash. And then that's the river. That's the same river that I flew my drone up in a previous video. Now here's the drone footage. And so while we're here, let me just get back to, you know, using a fire to build a data center. You can kind of see the terrain here. Now up this hill, right back in there is 9 Mile. That's where the other neighborhoods were burnt down. But you can see this this is too rugged for a large data center complex. And there's no need for it. It's ridiculous. And this is all a rural area. You know, it's residential. There's no city anything here because of the same thing. It's just too rough. And people that are saying this, it's like, what are you thinking? What's wrong with you? So this really is a good view of the level of utter destruction. There's literally nothing left but ash. You look at all the cars that are left in the driveways and garage. And that outer neighborhood was really lucky. Another thing is, if you look along the tree line there, that's where that fire came and hit the neighborhood head on. And you'll also notice that those trees have turned brown. I know it's hard to see when I'm panning over the river because it doesn't look like the fire went through there, but you have to look at the color difference between the trees to know where the fire went. And it was a very fast-moving fire. Now in this case, most of these trees got burnt up because the houses underneath of them were burning, so there was a lot more fuel concentration. The fires here burned a lot hotter, and if you go back and look, you'll on the drive through here, you'll see melted aluminum from the vehicles. Now coming up higher, we're looking south. Initially I thought this entire neighborhood had burnt down, but I didn't really know for sure. But over just to the right, and you can see the brown trees off in the distance, all that got destroyed. And there you can see, if you look at those homes, those are nice homes. That's the kind of homes that's in this neighborhood here. And there's a river, there's the discolored trees, the fire went all through there. Jumped the river, kept going. Looks like it kind of went around some of these homes. And the first video I took of the smoking houses is right back in along that edge there to the left and top. And up that S, just 3 minutes away is where I live. That's the river valley. Fire went right up that, right into these homes here. So the wind was kind of funneling inside that valley and pushing in the direction that the valley was winding and turning, because we had high winds. And somebody had reported that, well, there's the river there and it's in this valley, and so you get like these onshore winds and stuff like that, and that is not what happened that day at all. It was a very hot, windy, dry day all over the place. and that river does not create breezes. I grew up in a coastal town in Southern California, and the onshore breeze is not that much. It doesn't create gusty winds that are 40 plus miles an hour. Again, people talking out of their bunghole. There's also been a lot of looky-loos coming, a lot of YouTubers from other states coming in, trying to get views for their channel, inserting themselves into here when they should probably just not. I don't know what they're doing here, why that scaffolding is there. But somebody dropped off a pallet of sod to the house just to the left. I don't know what are they going to do with the big pallet of sod? I mean, that you'll see that in a second. Alright folks, this is the last of the footage here. This is just a little close-up of what some of this destruction looks like. And you can see there's just ash, there's nothing. And even the grass was burnt up. There's that pallet of sod. Now someone's already been here cleaning this mess up. So that's all the drone footage. Now this was taken right in front of my house, and that fire got closer than that, and then it jumped the street, and everybody in the neighborhood just basically panicked and was shoving stuff in their vehicles and left. It got within a block of my house, and I think that there's a couple reasons. The fire department was kind of trying to head it off at the pass. The winds are blowing north. There's a cemetery, then there's a school and the VA, and I think the fire just kind of ran out of a place to go, and then it hit the park, which is off to the right, and then the flames started coming even closer, and they got literally within about maybe 500 feet of that road that you see there, which is just a stone's throw from where I'm at. And then they were able to do some tanker drops on it and kind of force that out, which is a good thing, because there's two other neighborhoods right in front of that to the north, and then all of our neighborhoods to the east. But I think we've got a couple issues going on. First of all, people starting fires, and we have had, since this fire, on average we're having 8 to 10 new fires a day, all of them arson. We've had multiple arrests of these arsonists, and thankfully the county has some sort of plan. When these fires start, they're jumping on them and they're getting them out quick. So there's been no reinitiation of any fires or any of that stuff. And as far as who are these people starting the fires, well, I mean, let me just put it to you this way. I don't know of any conservative-leaning people that have been arrested for starting a fire. Okay? I don't know about this Farinazzi guy, I call him Farinazzi, who started this. He just seems like a complete unhinged lunatic. He killed his father 10 years ago because he was told to do the dishes. I don't know, maybe he's just a nut. I mean, he's definitely just a nut, but I don't know about his political ideologies. Nothing's really available to tell, and we probably won't know until after the trial. But in all likelihood, he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, which is where he belongs. As for myself, I mean, having to evacuate, there's another group of people because we had everything ready to go. You know, cats, computers, photographs, you know, stuff that would really, you know, important paperwork or whatnot. But in my mind, this is all I have, and I've got insurance, but you know, insurance is going to be playing games with all those people that lost their homes. And I've been through this before. When I first moved to Spokane, I opened a computer store, and about 9 months into that, one Sunday evening, this lady that was really, really drunk, 3 times over the legal limit, decided to turn my computer store into a drive-through. And she had farmers insurance, and farmers basically took advantage of the whole situation. They knew that they were going to have to pay me something. So what did I get? $3,500. That was it. And I initially told them no, and farmers was like, listen, we're not going to play your game here. You're going to get $3,500, and that's all you're going to get. And they didn't care about making me whole again. That was not enough to reopen that computer store. I would have, at minimum, very base minimum, needed $5,000. You know, and as far as the products that I had, the computers and the video cards and the sound cards and cases and monitors and all that got destroyed, they just played this game with me about, you know, monetary value and this and that and all this other stuff, and there's no real way to compensate you for it. You know, that's how that's going to go. So I've been working my butt off to build this shop because I want to manufacture kitchen gadgets. I've had a hard time since 2020 when I bought this house because of all the political bullshit, and I'm sick of it. I was ready for production a year ago in July when my metal supplier told me the aluminum that I wanted to use for my initial product was now $900 instead of $400, which pretty much ended that right there. And I had to, you know, come up with some other plan. And here I am over a year later, and I'm still not in production. This is the kind of thing we're dealing with. Gas prices and you know, all this taxes, extra taxes. You know, it's like, what's next? I'm not even in business, and all this stuff has kept me from business. The cost of tooling has gone up. You know, a shell mill that was $400 in 2020 is $1,000 now. And yeah, I had to pay it. I bought a shell mill 5 or 6 months ago, and I paid $1,000 for it. And that was with no inserts and no arbor. That was a 3-inch shell mill. The inserts were $125, $130, and I had an arbor, thankfully. So, what's going to happen if my house burns down? That's what I'm thinking. And my mind was, I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to fight. I'm going to try and save it. I've had a bunch of knuckleheads. Oh, there's nothing you can do with the garden hose. Yeah, well, maybe not. My idea was if I can't save the house, maybe I can at least save my shop. It's a smaller structure. You know, the insulation that I had put in it is a polyurethane insulation. It won't burn. So, at the very least, you know, if I lose that shop, what do I have? You know, I'm just in debt for the next 5, 6, 7 years. You know, because that's what I've done. I've gone into debt to build that shop. I've bet the farm on this business. And it's bad enough, you know, we paid all the first of the month bills on Friday. Paid the mortgage, paid, you know, the utilities and credit cards, and bought food and filled the refrigerator up. And then the next day, that morning I went to the tool store. They were closing at 1. I had to get there early because I needed a drill bit and some other things. That was a $50 visit to the tool store because of what I'm working on now with this ring roller. And I get back and get unloaded and get settled down, grab a little lunch to eat, and then I'm seeing the news. There's this fire at this road, blah, blah, blah. I had no idea where the road was, and I'm trying to do a search. Where is this road? And I, commented back, where is this road? I don't see it anywhere. And the moderator of that group posted a map with the X mark, and I looked, and it's like right down the street from where I'm at. So I go outside, and that's when I see all the smoke, and it was right after that I made that first video. And if you hear that video, in fact, I'll just post it really quick again, and you can hear me say, this is bad, we're in serious trouble. That was the start of the fire. That was the very start. And here it is right now. We are in serious frickin' trouble. Alright, so you heard it there. Sure enough, we were. So that's about all I have to say. I know the video was long. Most people probably didn't bother watching the whole thing, but if you're still here, kudos to you for watching this. This has really been a lot of stress. And even though I didn't lose my home, it cost me quite a bit of money. The power being off for 4 days, the food in the refrigerator that I just bought spoiling, having to eat out. That was a nightmare all by itself. Have you eaten out lately? Even at cheap fast food? Every meal was $60 and $70 for me and my son. For 4 days, add that up. I had to ask a church for help. And there's a lot of back and forth going on within the community right now, because there's those that lost their homes, and then those of us that didn't but are still hurting. And the animosity is that that didn't lose their home should not be asking for help. Now, I didn't ask for much. All I asked for was a couple flats of chicken and a couple bottles of tea. I get the Peak unsweetened tea, and that's all I asked for. And I talked to the pastor. I said, if you can just give me a couple months, I'll pay this back so you can have that money to help someone else. The fact that there are people that are having attitudes that, well, you didn't lose your home. Well, I'm really glad I didn't lose my home. Still doesn't mean that this hasn't affected. I'm not rich. I'm on a fixed income. I'm a disabled veteran. I don't get a whole lot of money. And you know, granted, I maxed my credit cards out on this shop. I'm betting the farm on this business. And I still am. So, yeah, that's where we're at. It's really, you know, in one way brought the best of us out, and in another way it's bringing the worst of us out. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter how great something is, the focus is always going to be on the negative. You know, you can do everything right your entire life. The second you do something wrong, that's all anybody remembers. And there's good reason for that. You know, we got people starting fires, we got thieves breaking into homes. One of the evacuated neighborhoods, there were break-ins, and this one guy set up his camera and caught somebody in his garage. That person was just arrested a few days ago. And I kind of suspected something like that might happen here. The power was off. This neighborhood was pitch black, and there was only 3 of us left in this neighborhood that refused to go. And I went out patrolling all night long. No sleep. And I did that every single night for 4 nights to make sure there were no thieves in my neighborhood. Oh, man. Anyway, that's it. I got nothing else. The fire's over. Now we just move on. So I hope you all enjoy the footage and you get some insight into this. And I don't know what else to say. Hey now.